Welcome to Combative Nerds. I'm IceyEyedGnome, and this is everything you should know about Kang before you see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, Quantumania is going to be released on February 17th, but there's a few things that you should know before you see it. The history of Kang is all over the place. Kang is a descendant of Reed Richards. That's right, Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four, and his real name is Nathaniel Richards. Nathaniel Richards first appeared in Fantastic Four number 19 in October of 1963 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. In the comics, Kang had commitment issues and suffered from what I would describe as dissociative identity disorder, or DID. He's taken many names and lived many lives. The younger version of Kang assumed the alter ego of Iron Lad, a parallel of Iron Man, where he also helped form the Young Avengers. Nathaniel was a traveler from the year 3000 who transported himself back and forth through time, and at one point he was known as Farah Rama Tut when he traveled back in time in an attempt to conquer ancient Egypt, a plot foiled by the Fantastic Four themselves. Interesting fact, Rama Tut, a Kang variant, was teased in an episode of Moon Knight through a design on the back of a jacket of an attacker Mark Spector is exchanging blows with, a follower of Arthur Harrow. When he travels back to the future, where he meets Dr. Doom, whom he believed was an ancestor, he designed similar armor and started calling himself the Scarlet Centurion. When he accidentally travels to the year 4000, he brings with him technology that no longer exists on the war-torn planet Earth. He adopts the name of Kang the Conqueror, and his advanced technology allows him to easily dominate the population of the dying world. He then sets his sights on conquering a younger version of Earth to expand his domain throughout the galaxy. In the comics, when he would travel through time using this technology, he would incidentally create another version or variant of himself. So many, in fact, that all of them got together and created a Council of Kangs. The side effect of using this technology could explain the hundreds or thousands of Ant-Men that we see throughout the trailer. As they've done before, it seems the MCU has taken several liberties with Kang, whose first on-screen appearance by the wonderful Jonathan Majors in the Disney Plus series Loki left us with so many questions. He Who Remains, a variant of Nathaniel Richards, constructed the TVA in an attempt to control the creation of alternate branches or timelines, as to prevent the variants of himself in the future. In the final episode of Loki, entitled For All Time, Always, we see Sylvie and Loki. Now, we're not going to talk about the provocative and somewhat incestuous implications of one Loki banging another Loki, but he does seem like the kind of self-involved guy who's really only in love with himself. So that's one way. Anyways, Loki and Sylvie are standing just outside the Citadel, home of He Who Remains, in an environment that looks strikingly similar to the location that we've seen in the trailer of Quantumania. Kang offers them a life of happiness by inserting them back into the timeline and fulfilling their dreams. A similar deal Kang seems to be offering Scott Lang in the trailer for the upcoming film. He mentions he's gone through a lot of scenarios trying to find the right person to take his spot, which calls back to a comic where he considers several others, including Apocalypse himself, as a potential successor. He offers a word of warning about ending the TVA and its stifling order, stating that he's lived 1,000,000 lifetimes and that the only alternative to the TVA was cataclysmic chaos. Ultimately, Sylvie drives a dagger through the heart of the Kang variant, and he smiles. Creepy. As he responds with, "See you soon," we see Judge Renslayer packing bags before she heads to another destination, possibly suggested by He Who Remains. I believe this to be a contingency plan to bring his version or variant back to power in the TVA, which is where the show's season finale leaves us, with Loki, our Loki, in another branch of reality controlled by a variant of Kang who runs the TVA. Now, there is a ton of information out there about the rings that surround that glowing energy we see in the trailer being possibly tied to the Eternals or Shang-Chi or Ms. Marvel. And while I believe that is very possible, my favorite theory is that the energy that is within those rings is none other than the Forever Crystal, which first appeared in Avengers Forever issue number 3 in December of 1998. During the Destiny War, Immortus would invade Chronopolis, home to his past counterpart Kang. In part of his plot to alter the destiny of the human race and prevent them from traveling beyond the solar system, he would storm Chronopolis, fighting off Kang's armies and a team of time-displaced Avengers. Accessing the Heart of Forever within the Citadel, Immortus would use it to create 3 temporal anomalies in 3 different time periods and alternate universes where the threat of humanity's universal colonization and invasion seemed most likely. He would travel to Earth 9904, where Skrull posing as Richard Nixon plotted to destroy America's space program, an event that would boost human space travel beyond the stars in the future. Immortus would use the Forever Crystal to erase that reality from existence. He would then go on manipulating various alternate realities and timelines and events to prevent humanity's threat to the universe. Noting that the Scarlet Witch was a Nexus being that would pose a threat, he would use the Forever Crystal to split the original Human Torch into 2 entities. One of these entities would continue on as the Human Torch, while the other would be taken by Ultron and rebuilt into the Vision in a plot to prevent the Scarlet Witch from having children. Sound familiar? Ultimately, Immortus would be forced by his masters, the real Timekeepers, to use the Forever Crystal in their chronal canon that would wipe the human race from all of existence. When Immortus refuses to kill the time-displaced Avengers, fingers crossed we see Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans back on the big screen for this battle, the Timekeepers kill Immortus and then take the crystal to summon an army of evil Avengers from alternate realities to fight these heroes. Captain America would recapture the Forever Crystal and end its threat to humanity. Way to go, Cap. The crystal, however, would remanifest in Earth 616, where the Supreme Intelligence, that Supreme Intelligence, would use the crystal and its powers to evolve the Kree race. With all of these possibilities on the table, now you can see how all of the disconnected and disorganized movies and television series throughout all of Phase 4 could come together by the close of Phase 5. Bringing back some of those beloved characters from the first 3 phases of the MCU in a battle that will be much larger and on a much larger scale than we saw in Avengers Endgame. If you have any theories you'd like to share, please drop them in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video and smash that subscribe button for more content. That's all the time I have for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow our socials, and I'll see you next time.